dancing and we're feeling alright. Everybody will be dancing tonight, doing it right. Everybody will be dancing and we're feeling it right. Everybody will be dancing and be doing it right.
Welcome everybody to Mad Metal Guy Videos channel. Here bringing you a video review of the iBuyPower Valkyrie CZ-27 Part 2. So this is going to be my performance review. I'm redoing this review because of mic issues from the first performance review. First take on Part 2. But I fixed the mic issues, so we should have bountiful mic noise. And yeah, so let's get to it. First I want to go off by listing the specs of the machine. I have an Intel Core i7-4800MQ. I have 16 gigabytes of Kingston HyperX RAM at 1600 megahertz. I have a GTX 770M, and I have a 128 gigabyte Samsung 840 Pro SSD, a terabyte HGST, 7200 RPM HDD. So pretty nice there. And yeah, so the first game we're going to be looking at. First, before we go into the games, my bad, let me go over the settings that we're doing. So this is 1080p, VSync off, and this is with an overclocked GTX 770M. I overclock my GTX 770M from about, the max boost is 811 megahertz. I overclock it to 900 megahertz on the core and about 4750 megahertz on the effective memory. So just keep in mind that my frame rates will be different than yours. Anyway guys, let's get started. First game I'll have to show off is Titanfall. Titanfall is perfectly smooth at 1080p, 60 frames a second. It really is capped out in the upper 40s to about 60. Basically, it's perfectly playable with maxed out graphical settings and everything turned up to max. So perfectly playable gameplay right there. Next game I want to talk about is Borderlands 2. Now, Borderlands 1 is completely playable beyond 60 FPS with VSync off with maxed out settings. Borderlands 2, however, I can get similar settings, so I can practically max it out again, but this time I'm turning the physics to medium and turning the anisotropic filtering down to 8x instead of 16x, just to give it a little more headroom for performance. It's just really nice when you have a little bit more, performance while recording, whatnot, stuff like that. So yeah, Borderlands 2 is probably more around 50 to about 70 FPS, and yeah, perfectly playable at maxed out. Next game I want to talk about is COD Ghosts. This is a newer title, but it's been pretty buggy on PC lately. I'm able to get decent frame rates of the 40s up to about 60-ish FPS with practically texture setting and image quality maxed out. The only thing I turn down is like the distortion, the ambient occlusion down to low. Certain things I turn down because for some reason just Ghosts can't handle it. Like my computer can't handle Ghosts all that well with everything turned up. It can handle it on campaign, but not multiplayer, which is what I'm showing you here. So all in all, it's a decent experience on multiplayer, but it performs way better on campaign. Alright, next game I want to talk about is Saints Row 3 and 4, because they practically play they're the same game engine as the other, so why not show them off the same. So Saints Row 3 and 4, it's perfectly playable on Ultra preset, but it would be better if you turn it down to high, especially if you're recording on this machine. It proves to have better frame rates while recording. And yeah, so without recording on Ultra, I get anywhere from 45 to 60. On high, I can get anywhere from 55 to above 60. With recording, it's a little different, but yeah. Anyway, the next game I want to talk about is Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Now, this game is in particularly weird because it is perfectly playable on literally almost any machine out there. If you have a machine from the past 2 years, then you can practically play this game. I really like Black Ops 2 because it's perfectly smooth and optimized for PC. I get above 150 FPS, closer to the 200 sometimes, with it maxed out, but then again I'm overclocking, and load times are pretty much nothing. And yeah, the game's perfectly smooth with VSync off, maxed out 1080p. Alright guys, now I want to talk about video rendering performance, as that's pretty much a big factor in what I do on the channel, so I like to incorporate it into my video. So I took a video that I originally recorded on my old machine, my desktop, with an FX 8320 GTX 774 gig edition, and it's a 40-minute video, and it took about, I'd say, an hour and 30 minutes to render on my FX 8320 desktop processor. This machine, it took literally 42 minutes to render that 40-minute video. So yeah, this is really great compared to the FX series on productivity. Just the Intel chips are really great for productivity. It really just hands down is the best. There's really nothing else that can beat it. I really enjoy the Intel processors in gaming, not only gaming, because Crysis, you do have a difference in the FX versus the Intel, at least at some settings, but it's just raw video rendering performance is just top notch on the Intel chips. But anyway, yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, recording. Since they just released the newest GeForce Experience 2.0 with the new drivers, basically we get Shadowplay, which is really awesome. Shadowplay is like a very minimal performance hit video recording service. So I use Shadowplay for all my video editing or video recording software needs, and I use Sony Vegas Pro to edit and render the video. Anyway, so yeah, and under load, let's say, alright, let's talk about temps now. Temperatures, this machine barely gets over 65. Unless you're recording or live streaming, it really doesn't get over 63 to 65 degrees Celsius. But then again, I have an underpad cooler with 5 fans, and I have it directly positioned on the graphics and CPU. So your mileage may vary, but with my overclock and the underpad cooling, it rarely goes above 65 degrees Celsius, which is really good because 80 is really the maxed out limit you want for this machine. But yeah. Alright guys, this is pretty much going to wrap up my performance review. If you want, you can leave a comment, like, favorite, subscribe, do what you want about it. No, I'm kidding. But anyway guys, I'll talk to you in the next one.
Everybody will be dancing when you're feeling alright. Everybody will be dancing tonight, doing it right. Everybody will be dancing when you're feeling it right.